Hey everybody. I just got back from doing a hour and some odd minute walk. Instead of going over and doing the laps over by the track, I decided to go in the opposite direction because there's a park um, back about 15 minutes that way if you by walking, 10, 15 minutes. So I decided I was going to go check out that park and just walk that way and then come back, walk for an hour. I'm trying to really maintain that. So as you can see, I'm a little frazzled from walking out there. Luckily, I didn't put on any socks. I just put on my sneakers, and on my way back, I was worried I got blisters on my feet. But um, I was thinking, as I was walking along, I was thinking to myself about the religious armies. The Crusades with the Crusaders and the Muslims with their Saracen army. And I was thinking, okay, so you've got the Christian warriors, right? And they had the classic straight sword, the broadsword, which they would use to represent the cross, because you had the cross hilt and the blade, actually, and, instead of it being, I guess, if like this. So you had the hilt, and then you had the blade. So they would turn it over, and it would represent a crucifix. So when they were praying, or whatever. And then you had the Saracen armies that had the curved blade. They had the scimitar, which was an effective weapon because there was a lot more surface for the cutting edge. But also, it could represent the curved blade could also represent the moon, the crescent moon of Islam. And I was thinking to myself, that probably explains why there wasn't a Jewish army. Could you imagine wielding a weapon in the shape of the Star of David? That's got to be the most complicated sword in the history of man. So yeah, that was what popped into my head. So recent update on the situation with the girl at the sandwich shop. So around 10:30, she hadn't called, she hadn't emailed, and I was thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, why do I even bother? It's just yet another female that just has no interest in me. I just keep picking the bad ones. So I'm getting frustrated, and I'm like, I can't sit here. I don't want to sit in the house and stew. I know she's already off work because I thought that Subway closed at 10. Turns out it closed at 9. So I'm walking. I go out the door, and I'm just gonna go for this walk, and I decide to stop by the gas station slash sandwich shop and find out when they open and when they close, so I know exactly how long it's been since she hadn't contacted me. So I walk in and I grab a quick snack thingy, and as I'm standing there at the cash register talking to the guy, I started to just generally ask him, so when does Subway open and when does it close? And he's like, oh well, it closes at 9 on the weekdays, and on the weekends it closes at 10. I said, so tonight it closed at 9 o'clock. He said, yeah. I said, oh, okay. Interesting. And as I was getting ready to leave, I said, oh, did you see Katie today by any chance? And he said, no, I didn't see her today. So I thought to myself, okay, thanks. And I walked out the door. And as I was walking along, I was like, okay, well, he didn't see her, but that doesn't mean that she didn't come in. But I felt better because I thought, okay, there's a chance now. There's a chance. There's a reason why she isn't there. So I went and I did my walk, and I got pulled over by the cops because I was walking down the middle of the street because the sidewalks still have ice on them, and quite frankly, you know what? I'd rather walk in the street. It's wider. There's nothing to block me. I'm not gonna bump into somebody's fucking mailbox. So as I'm walking down the street, and I'm thinking to myself, when a cop pulls me over, I already know what I'm going to tell him, which was partially the truth. There's still ice on the sidewalks, and I feel like breaking my neck. So that's why I was walking on the side of the street where the oncoming traffic is coming. So if a car comes, I will see it. I'm not going to get hit from behind. So as I'm walking, and I see a car coming, and I cross over, and I'm walking into the regular path, and it's a cop car, and he does that sort of stagger, stop, go thing, and I'm like, oh great, he's going to turn the fuck around, because I've had it happen millions of times before. So I crossed over, and as I was coming up to one of the train tracks where they had the bar that comes down to block it, it activates just as I'm starting to get there. So of course, and I can see the lights of the car coming behind me, and I know it's the cop. So I get there, and as the thing comes down, I stop and I turn, and I just sit there and wait. And the cop pulls up, and he puts on the light into my face, and I'm just standing there waiting for him, not moving. Got my hands in my little pouch in the front because I've got my sweat jacket thing. He's got a little pocket thing. So I got my hands there, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm waiting. And he steps out of the car, and I'm like, evening, officer. And he starts asking me questions about where I'm doing and why I'm walking. I'm like, well, I'm out just for a walk, sir. I'm going, and I'm just going to walk for 40 minutes in one direction, turn around, and walk back. So he asked me for my driver's license, asked me where I lived, and I just answered his questions. And I pulled my hands out of my pockets and put them in front of me, so I wasn't a threat at all. So he talks to me a little bit more, then hands me back my ID and goes about his merry way. So I go walking down to the park, and I walk around this little at the park down there. There was this little track thingy. There really wasn't a track. It was just sort of like not concentric, but like a sort of a wacky, oddly shaped figure eight sidewalk thing that wrapped around several of the, like they had the monkey bars and stuff on one, and then they had this weird sculpture thing on the other. So I just kept looping that figure eight over and over and over again. And I did that for, I don't know, 45 minutes, I guess. And so as I'm walking, I'm like, okay, I've been here for about an hour, and the stopwatch thing. He said I was out for an hour and 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, well, 5 minutes in the store, another 5 minutes for the cop. So I'll just start walking home now, and that'll make the walk back. I'll make up for the time that I wasted in those two places. So I started walking back, and I decided I was going to stop back in again and inquire as to whether or not my business card was there. So when I got in, there was this lady, and I asked her, I said, I got two questions for you. Number one, do you sell moleskin? And she didn't know what it was. And for those of you that don't know what moleskin is, basically it's this like adhesive material, like the glue on it is non-toxic, and you stick it on blisters so that the blisters can heal without having something rubbing against it. It looks like, it's like this sort of spongy cloth stuff that has this sticky backing. You put the sticky part on the pop blister, and it's, like I said, it's non-toxic, and I think it has a chemical in it that helps the process heal. So you stick it there, and then that way you can put on your shoes or boots or whatever, and it won't keep rubbing against it, making it worse. So I asked her if she had moleskin, and she said I have no idea what that was. So I told her, and I said, okay, I have a second request, and it's going to seem kind of odd. I stopped by earlier today. I dropped off my business card for Katie, but I was told that she didn't stop in. I just want to make sure that my card is there so that when she comes in, she'll have my phone number. And she went in the back, and sure enough, it was pinned to the bulletin board, which means that she hadn't got it. So that's good. I mean, she's not going to see the movie with me tomorrow, which is fine, but at least I still kind of have a chance that she may call or email, which is a good thing. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, and also bring up that Star of David sword idea, because I thought that was kind of funny. Alright, so that's it, folks. I'm going to go take a shower now. I look like hell. But, yeah, I went and I did my walk, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and do that every night. Just walk. See if I can't do what Russ is doing, because Russ is being really successful with what he's doing. So, if Russ can do it, then I can try to do it. So, until next time, folks, I will give you an update if one happens. If worst case scenario, I will give you guys a review of Book of Eli, which I get to see tomorrow at noon. First showing. They didn't have a midnight showing, or I'd be there right now. So yeah, until next time, I will talk to y'all later.